The other day on Lori the Armchair Chef's live, she mentioned that she would like to see my clocks. So I will go through them all, but quickly I'll tell a quick classroom story of sorts. It's actually a story about me, and I shared a classroom with the teacher, and I had left my cell phone in the classroom. The other teacher did not know it was mine, so he took it to the assistant principal at the time that was handling all the cell phones, because that was the policy. You took cell phones to the assistant principal. So the assistant principal is looking at his phone. He's scrolling through the contacts. This is a lot of years ago, by the way, so there weren't locks and stuff like that on it. It was barely even, it might not have been a smartphone now that I think of it. Anyway, going through the contacts, found my dad. It just said dad. So the assistant principal called my dad and said, I have a cell phone here and I believe it belongs to your son or daughter. My dad just laughed hysterically and said, you're at Golden High School, right? Yeah, my daughter's Lori. And the assistant principal laughed and then proceeded to tell me that, he was going to have my dad come pick up the phone like he would for a student. So yes, don't leave your cell phone in a classroom ever. Okay, Lori wanted to know about the clocks, so I'm going to go over all the different clocks. I used to have, in my previous house, a wall, I'm going to turn it this way just for a second, that was just all white and no door in between. That's my kitchen pantry door. So I needed something to fill the space, so I thought it would be really cool to have clocks all over it. And clocks are cool to me, so there we go. We have all of that. And so when we moved to this house, all these clocks needed to come over. But now there's some clocks for my husband as well, and not just clocks about me. So we'll start down here. I believe this was the first clock. Oh, let me keep going horizontally. This math clock is great, except it doesn't work because it's secondhand, likes to get stuck. This is from Target. Not a dig on Target. I've had it for 12 years, I think. So I just need to replace the hand mechanism or something. So for some reason, like I said, it'll go around again and then get stuck in the same place over here. So good times on that, but I do love that math clock. So this is the next clock. This is a tea kettle or a coffee pot. For me, it'd be a tea kettle. I'm obsessed with tea. I have a giant cabinet full of tea. My family would all say I'm addicted to tea. I think it's amazing, so I have a lot of tea. So, and not always the, spilling the tea kind, but anyway, the real tea. So, we've already seen this clock, the cat clock from Temu. And I'm going to actually skip up and then come back to the one below. This clock, is actually also from Temu, and I forgot to include it. This is cut from an album or a record. So it's really cool, but it's also kind of fragile. So that's why I have it up high. And I've moved it slightly since the video on the cat clock. This one, let me come over here. I actually believe I won at a white elephant, which was fantastic. It was either that or somebody gave it to me for Christmas, a friend or something. I can't exactly remember. Anyway, it's got two separate batteries. So one for the clock and one for music. So I'll put the music battery back in, probably in November. And when it hits the hour, it plays Christmas music. So that's fun. Up here is just a cute little kitchen clock. It has a fork and a knife as its hour and minute hand, so that's fun. I'm surprised they didn't do a spoon for the second hand, but maybe they needed it to be lighter. This clock has a thin blue line because my husband is in law enforcement. So that's that clock. Another obsession I have is Coca-Cola items. I can't actually drink Coca-Cola because I can't have high fructose corn syrup, but I love Coca-Cola's aesthetic, and so this is a really cool, it's a license plate that actually they turned into a clock. I don't think it's a real license plate, like you couldn't use it for your car, but it's the same material. Up there is another obsession of mine, and my husband's actually, Doctor Who. However, it only has its hour hand. We lost somehow the other pieces. So there it sits, not working, sad Doctor Who clock. And that's before, that was when there were only 12. And so now there's been a 13th, so it does not have the lady Doctor Who on there, which is kind of a bummer. But I mean, there's not 13 spots on a clock, so what are you gonna do? Anyway, so this one represents my husband as well, because he was born in London, raised in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So he had for a long time his dual citizenship with the US and with Great Britain. Here's a Mickey clock, another thing I like to collect a lot. And this, I'll just come back out because I think it's better if I just come back out. This watch clock, giant watch clock, was from my dad because he knew I liked clocks. So he made sure when he saw this, he grabbed it for me and gave that to me as a gift. I have another clock I'm going to show you, but it is not on this wall, and you'll soon see why it's not on the wall. This clock, and you can see some of my Coca-Cola items, this clock was from a friend, and it is so stinking cool. It looks like that painting, right? Unfortunately, it fell and doesn't work properly now, but I love it, and it's the coolest clock, so it will always have a place in my home. So, like I said, you can kind of see some of my Coca-Cola items here. It's down the road. Maybe I'll go over all my Coca-Cola collectibles. But that's all my clocks, and I love my clocks, and they're so much fun. And there you go, Lori, now you've seen my clocks.